Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Sports Scope on this 18th. No, excuse me. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So what today's date is, the 15th day of January. Sorry about that. Thursday, John Harbaugh is a New York Giant. Going to talk about that when the Mad New Yorker comes up. He said he's going to be on the program. I'll send him the link there. I'm going to go over that, gave you my opinion on that as well. And, of course, you really haven't got a full drawn-out opinion of mine about Mike Tomlin and whatnot. Of course, I'll talk about that as well. Mike Tomlin stepping down. We'll have Ralph Williams coming in next Wednesday to talk about that as well. Big job search there. Also, we're going over the NFL playoffs, folks. We'll go over the NFL playoffs, divisional weekend. I was 4-2 last weekend. Probably should have been 6-0. Just wasn't sure about that Trent Williams thing. And the Packers, you cannot blow an 18-point lead. But anyways, stand by. We'll take our first and only break, and I'll be back here momentarily, hopefully with the Mad New Yorker. But if not, still got plenty to bring to the table here on the Real Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty then. Let me get the stand by, folks. We got to take one more quick break.
I'm Mac, CEO of National Streaming Sports and host of the Mac and Jack Sports Show. You're watching the Sharp-Dressed Man and the Big Story Breaker, Robert Butler, on Sports Scope, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern on National Streaming Sports. Thanks. I'm Mac, CEO of National Streaming Sports and host of the Mac and Jack Sports Show. You're watching the Sharp-Dressed Man and the Big Story Breaker, Robert Butler, on Sports Scope, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern on National Streaming Sports. Thanks. I'm Mac, CEO of National Streaming Sports and host of the Mac and Jack Sports Show. You're watching the Sharp-Dressed Man and the Big Story Breaker, Robert Butler, on Sports Scope, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern on National Streaming Sports. Thanks. I'm Mac, CEO of National Streaming Sports.
Okay, folks, sorry about that. Okay, it's sent. Sorry about that. I did not send him the link. Folks, I do Uber on the way home from work. What I do is we have this destination filter, and I work by the hospitals and whatnot because that's what I do, carrier work. And I got to talking to this guy and this couple on the way here. They were out in the Baton Rouge area. I had to take them to the airport, which I live close to the airport. Oh, and there's the Mad New Yorker. I didn't even have to go too much into that story there. Mad New Yorker, everybody. My bad, brother, on that link, man. I was, I don't know what happened. I get so busy. I was telling the audience, I took a guy and his girlfriend to the airport, and he was a recruiter for Jerry Stackhouse with the Vanderbilt. He was telling me how Stackhouse had to have the two Vanderbilt police always hold him back from getting in fights at the arena. I said, yeah, go and look at the Jeff Hornacek, him beating him up back in the day for the Utah Jazz. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a temper. But shout out to Josh, man. Gave Josh a card. Great tip, brother. appreciate that. Josh is going to Phoenix to watch his brother do one of those mega marathons, 100 miles. Dude, is that crazy?
It's crazy, bro. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be in Toronto.
Bad New Yorker, everybody.
I'm supposed to be in Toronto right now, but we got snowed out. My flight got canceled, so should be heading out there tomorrow, same time. So we'll see about that.
Okay. Be careful, man. I hope everything's everything, and you all get it done in the Pokemon world there. What is your take on John Harbaugh now becoming the head coach there for your New York Giants?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited. I don't think it's gonna happen. This is gonna be an overnight success. I think Giant fans, Giant media, New Yorkers need to calm down. We have to be real about the situation. What we have are a group of young players and neighbors and Dart and as well as in Carter, and we don't know what to expect from any of them yet.
Who's Carter?
The linebacker.
The young rookie defensive guy.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Those guys are like the three.
Carter,
those are the three foundational players of the Giants that they have been picked high, but we don't we're not sure what they're going to be like in the next. We have still time to see what they're going to be able to produce and how they're going to be able to help the Giants. Bringing in someone like Harbaugh is going to give them a foundation to work with and work from. I think it's a positive thing. I'm not sure management. I'm not sure what deals that they gave Harbaugh, but I do know this. I'm not sure that Schoen's going to be there long. I say that because Harbaugh will want to have his former directors, scouting personnel, former coaches. He's going to have, a lot to bring in. He brings a lot to the table, so you can't deny him that. If he ends up being a GM and coach, it's something that's plausible. He's going to be probably the highest paid coach for the next 2 seasons. So.
Yeah, I have not read that. That would be horrible. I mean, I don't think that's going to be the case, not unless something's changed recently, him being the GM and the coach. He obviously had to get along with Schoen. I'm like, I kind of wish they would have just moved off of him. I felt like that he just he dropped the ball going way back to the Barkley situation, how he handled that, not trading Barkley, letting Barkley walk to a rival, going back about 2 years now. He must be a real smooth salesman with ownership for him to keep his gig there. But obviously something had to click with him and John Harbaugh. But if you look at this team, man, they did lack all they really needed was, people don't want to hear this, but a little bit of depth. But mainly, they just needed a better defensive coordinator. I mean, they were very bad against the run. They were one of the worst teams in the league against the run, with all those defensive linemen that are high-end draft picks, talented guys.
Right. So even if you want to take it back to a couple years before Schoen was there, you have the the defensive guys that was picked up from Oregon. You have Thomas, who didn't play well at all this season. You have just a lot of stuff that didn't fare well for the Giants defense, because on paper you thought going into the season you was going to get a top 5 to top 10 defense from these guys.
You would be able to lean on the defense, yeah.
Right. So but
you would think it'd play like Houston.
Yeah, but even saying that, Jackson Dart had a few games there where he wasn't enough. Right? You have to understand this. Dable got fired because they wasn't even averaging 14 points a game.
Well, I mean, look at the Denver game, man.
So and then they bring in Kafka, and Kafka was barely he had maybe 2 games where they went over 20 points. But even the 2 games that they went over 20 points, the other games they were barely hitting 20 points. So offense, everything has been disarray. Everything has been a mess, and they're bringing a guy now who's a legendary coach in his own right, and
Yeah.
he's going to be able to calm the streams a little bit, and he's going to find out that these draft picks from the last 2 seasons, if they're going to pan out. And believe it, next season, even if one of them make a mistake, Sean's out the door. I mean, he's giving Sean an opportunity for right now, but I'm not sure if he's leaving next week. But if even one of those guys don't pan out, then it's it's
I don't know why he would hold him over. But you know how these owners, they do stuff, they change their mind really quickly. Conventional wisdom will say you either fire him or you keep him. You just don't keep it in limbo.
Yeah.
I
don't think next year they win 9 games. They might win 7. I don't think
they even had free agency. They even had a draft. Remember, Scatterbo got hurt. Malik Neighbors got hurt. Dart came in 5-6 games into the season. I mean, it wasn't. Russell Wilson is a shell of himself. He's basically a backup, and there's a lot of reasoning why. And Andrew Thomas can't stay healthy. I may go offensive. A lot of people don't want to hear this. But that 5 pick, I may go offensive lineman there. I don't know if I would go another skill player.
No,
I wouldn't go defensive back.
I think it's already
your right tackle's hurt all the time too.
I think
he's not even that good.
The reality is the Giants need about 6 to 8 players for both defense and offense. And I would, being me, knowing the financial situation that the Giants are in, knowing that the next year is not even a potential playoff opportunity, I would just go ahead and just start building that depth. Just sell the pick, move away from all the nonsense, start fresh, and just see what you can get. There's a lot of second and third rounders that play a lot better than first rounders anyways, especially when you get the opportunity. And look, Scatterbo was in the first round pick. And he was
like a 4th round pick.
Yeah. So
I wanted Tennessee to get him. I watched him. Yeah.
Yeah. We were both shocked that he fell to. Remember, we talked about the draft. We were both shocked that he even fell past the 3rd round.
Yeah. So, and something, I've got a huge grand idea to do a draft show this year because they're going to shorten it. I've read that they're going to shorten the time on it. So we won't be up freaking super late. Me and you can host it. It comes out great every year because people talk about it. And maybe do the whole 32 and have guys come in, certain guys come in between picks, like Rich that you met last night, and Ralph Williams, Pittsburgh guy, guys like that stop by and say. So that's something we can do. And the Giants would be a big line of discussion there. Your Giants there. That's just food for thought. I know.
No, and me, I'm game, and and I'm in the game like ESPN.
Well, yeah, and we'll take breaks and everything.
Like EA Sports, remember that?
EA's be in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, so like
get you hyped, that commercial make you want to get the new football game,
No, but so I feel like the Giants. I called it. Remember the last 2 seasons I've called it. That there was going to be in the draft, and I believe they might not be in the draft. They'll be in the draft, but like in the lower picks. But I don't think they're going to be a playoff team next year, to be honest with you. So,
yeah, I have to break down their cap situation. Have to break down who's going to be coming, who's going to be going, injury situation, who's on their way back. Look at mock drafts. I know they traded away a pick because they moved back in to get Dart. I don't know. Was that the 2nd round pick? So I don't even know how many picks they got this year. I know they got that 5th pick. That's huge.
Right.
Yeah. So, and you got Dart on a rookie contract. So there's a lot to be optimistic about when you get a guy like a John Harbaugh that's going to tighten that team up both sides. He's going to bring in his offensive coordinator, Todd Monken from Baltimore, which is a huge home run right there.
If he does that, for sure. Like, listen, if he does that, they're definitely going to win 7. The thing is, I say 7.
Yeah, they're going to do that. I know that. I don't know about Orr, the defensive guy, and I hope they don't because he wasn't that good at Denver or Baltimore. Excuse me.
Yeah, as long as they don't bring in that other guy that they keep bringing in that runs plays right now with his brother's team on the Chargers. I don't like that guy.
Oh, he got fired too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you're a big fan of his.
he got that high school. He's been carrying that high school playbook for the last 30 years, man.
That is something that, I've been so busy. I did not get a chance to talk about. But Greg Roman.
Yeah. Oof.
Greg Roman was fired from the Chargers there's some speculation from what I'm hearing and reading. Nothing from the big reporters, nothing from Adam Schefter, but just from random stuff I'm seeing off the internet, that the organization from the Chargers wanted Harbaugh to fire Greg Roman. If that's the case, and you know how I am, I love Jim Harbaugh, but he burns hot everywhere he goes. That is one little bitty smidget there of, okay, I don't like you micromanaging me. This could be potentially the beginning of the end for Harbaugh with the LA Chargers. Now, it's not made a big buzz nationally. Right. That's just me and you talking and me speculating, judging by how Harbaugh's strong type A personality is. So I don't know what they're going to do about offensive coordinator, but when you got a guy that used to play quarterback in the NFL calling shots, he's going to be okay. I just thought that was pretty weird that they fired. I mean, they lost both of their tackles. They had third string guys sometimes.
But
Robert, they won 11 games.
The problem is though that as much as they're winning like because they're competing enough to match the other team's level. What Roman doesn't do is he doesn't allow the quarterback to go out and be who the quarterback should be, right? Like, if Roman wasn't the coordinator this year, believe it that this quarterback would have had a better year and probably would have had MVP status.
Well, I don't know. We'll never know
because once Roman left the Baltimore Ravens,
yeah, Jackson
was picking up bigger stats, and was
Monken was better with Jackson, but mind you, Jackson also won MVP the second year when Roman was there.
Right, but again,
Roman also worked some magic there with Colin Kaepernick going back to the 49er games.
Yeah, but again,
he's not an all-world guy, but he's not the bum that people are making him out.
No, I would never call him a bum. I do call his plays high schoolish and college, maybe first year of college. But the simplicity of the playbook allows these guys to understand the plays. But the fact that he doesn't allow these guys to be who they are in their own skin and in their own abilities is what takes away from that when they're playing football. You like it, yeah. and you see that because when he leaves, everywhere he's left, the player is a little bit more. There's more action coming out, a little bit more throwing the ball a little bit on the fly, being more open. And you saw that with Lamar Jackson. And it looked like Monken made him look like a superstar there. And then now Herbert goes back 2 years with Roman showing up there, right? Because he wasn't playing like that.
Yeah, this is year two with Roman. So I think they're going to be okay. And by the way, they got a lot of money in cap space. I don't know how. I was reading this the other day. I don't know how Tennessee has slipped them number 2. But the Chargers got a lot of money in cap space. I don't know if it's some expiring contracts or something. But they could make a big run next year. And I guess they just don't. They want to make that run with the more wide open offensive coordinator. Jim Harbaugh is going to run about the same type of offense. He's going to be power running, play action. That's the way he does it. And he's won a national championship. He almost won a Super Bowl. And I think they could potentially. I got to look and see this as the offseason develops. They could potentially be a Super Bowl favorite next year. If what I'm reading is correct about all that money in cap space.
I'll tell you what, if he doesn't allow Herbert to let it rip, and Herbert is not an MVP candidate next season, they ain't going to no Super Bowl. They're barely being a playoff.
Let it rip, dude. And you've got, and I will talk about this 49er game here in a minute, but when you're taking a snap and the defense is in the backfield, you can't do a 4-step drop there, 5-step drop. You have to screen it, or you got to do a quick slant, or you got to run it yourself, or you're going to get plastered because it's 1,000, 2 1,000. Okay, I got number 72 on my rear end. I've got to get out of here. Even Herbert, it's a miracle they got this far. He'd get an MVP vote from me as a possible MVP candidate from the way he did play, despite the fact that they were on second, third, and fourth string offensive lineman. It's a big fall off on the offensive line once you get those guys out. If they had had Joe Alt, I think they could have won They could have won Sunday, man. If Joe
Yeah,
Alt
no,
put it out.
yeah. Not only Alt, but also they didn't have the running back.
Amari Hamilton got hurt.
Yeah,
They never did come back fully.
right.
You know?
And so they don't. And not their tight ends. They're okay. I feel like they can be. They
They had a
play.
rookie they were leaning on that.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
good. He's just a rookie.
He's good, but I think he'll get better. And like you said, that line gave up way too much ease for some of these deep men to come through.
I don't know how they beat that Eagle team, but they did. You know, I think I picked them that week because I think the Eagles didn't have Lane Johnson. Quick take here on Mike Tomlin. I guess I'll give you I haven't gave the audience my take on that. We all got shocked by that. Tomlin, I said if things got stale, same thing with John Harbaugh. He needs he's only 53. He got that job very young. He was in his 30s.
Yeah.
And you look at the fact that no playoff wins last 7 years. You look at the lack of attention to detail to the offensive side. You know, Colin Cowherd made a good point. He said, man, you look at his coaching tree, you know, he don't even have a tree. It's like a cactus. You know, it's just offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. You know, he had Bruce Arians when he first started, but that was through Bill Cowher and all those guys.
Right.
And guys like Todd Haley, who nobody could get along with. Ralph Williams was talking about that as well.
Arthur.
And, yeah. So it got stale. I talk about the Bill Walsh thing, the 10-year rule. He's at 19 years there and going through multiple offensive coordinators. The defense is not living up to par. They're spending all their money on defense. I don't know how much of authority he had in that, but he looked burned out. I read today before we got on that one guy said that I think it was a former player that's friends with him saying that he's going to be retired permanently. I hope that's not the case. I hope he just takes a year off like Sean Payton did when things got stale in New Orleans. I mean, he knows that Tomlin knew that Rodgers is 40-something years old. He knows the defense is old. I don't blame him one bit from stepping down. They're hollering fire Tomlin in the stadium. He's got a Super Bowl ring there, no losing season. It's a long time coming. It's good for him, and it's good for Pittsburgh. What's your thoughts about the Steelers and Mike Tomlin?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, and we talked about this last year and even the year before, if anybody chooses Tomlin to leave, it'll be him. And I think he just wanted to.
They're not going to fire him. Yeah, he's fireproof, you know.
Right, and then if anything, you know, there's been stories out about race. There's been stories about different things out of Pittsburgh. I think the one thing that's really missed is that he hasn't had spent time with his family. His daughter's a gymnast in college.
Okay.
In Georgia, and so like those kind of things, man. He probably just figured out if.
His daughter was a gymnast in Florida?
Georgia, I believe it.
Or Georgia, I'm sorry. Did you say Georgia?
Yeah.
He made a comment he kind of like to coach in a warm environment. So that's conflicting reports. A lot of times he says stuff tongue in cheek. I wonder if that was a hint that maybe I'll take that Atlanta job, which that would really hype up the Atlanta fans.
Or even the Titans. Like, look.
Well, here in Tennessee, yeah, I mean.
Look, at the end of the day.
3 years old and the change of scenery would really help him a lot. I didn't realize how young he is.
Yeah, if he wants to take a break, even for a year, I mean, he can do anything he wants. Like, he's deserved it. He's worked at it. It's sad that he hasn't been able to get more than that Super Bowl ring, even though he's been winning. And you know, guys like that sometimes they go unappreciated, man. Remember that was a guy in Cincinnati that was like that. He wasn't as long tenured. Huh?
Marvin Lewis, the coach.
Yeah, Marvin Lewis. He wasn't and so you know, but that just happens when you're a coach and you're in a small market team. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, I think everything went wrong when they couldn't get some consistency in the offense. You talked about all those assistants.
Yeah, a lot of offensive coordinators.
Coordinators that have gone through there. That whole you know, Antonio Brown, you know, all that situation, that kind of just, it just kind of made they was peaking, and then it just kind of made it go flat and then down. And they had offensive players like Fairmuth and the running back. They let the running back go. What's his name? Najee Harris, but they didn't even use him correctly. So I feel like I think he just kind of got over it. Like it was like I'm not gonna offense. I know what to do for defense, and I can't find a winning formula for my offense, and that gets frustrating, man. And also, sometimes you want to bring in a high end player, and then the owner's like, I'll give you an extra draft pick. We can move around this guy, and it's not what you need. That's not what you want. So
you can tell that the more I think about it, that he wanted this to be his last season. You mentioned high end guys; they made big moves that they normally don't do.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing in DK Metcalf, they traded for the cornerback. I forgot his name now, but they traded Michael Fitzpatrick for Jalen Ramsey. I think, Jalen Ramsey.
That's right.
Yeah. So they were doing big, and Aaron Rodgers. It was a hard sell there, but they got him. They got Rodgers, and they showed some improvement there. But I knew it wasn't going to. I mean, no, Rodgers was going to show his age eventually, and that defense will wear down. I didn't think that'd be this bad on the back end, but they were older. You know?
When you have the injury to J.J. Watt in the middle of the season, and then
your lung,
and then you take and they were still kind of they're still trying to hold on the team together and strand it, and then all of a sudden at the end DK Metcalf situation happens. They could have got a better seed in games. But that's football, man. Like, and I feel like he needs a break. He probably chose to get a break from that. Like,
he deserves it. I hope he
Yeah.
doesn't take a job, because I don't. That may be like a burnout type of situation.
Right.
Hopefully he'll just take this year off, do a little TV chill, maybe come back next year. Being only 53, I think he'll probably miss the game, and not 63.
And if you think about it, if he doesn't come back, I don't think a guy like that. In that retrospect, I don't think he's done. I think, like you said, I think he's just going to take a break and find out the next best thing when the time comes. Because he's, like you said, he's still young. If him and Pete Carroll kind of got the same energy. They're always working out. They're running around. They're a players coach. So those guys stick around and they'll come back. He'll come back.
I think so too. I think he'll come back. And as far as the Steelers, listen, they need to blow that team up. They got to get younger. They got to rebuild, particularly on the defensive side. They got a young offensive line. They've got some pieces there. Firemove's a free agent. Maybe they'll bring him back. Hopefully he stays a free agent and Tennessee will get him. I like him. He's got good hands.
Yeah, I don't want to sound bitter.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's a few seasons that they're in the mix because of the division they're in.
Yeah.
So like, I know that kind of makes you sound bitter, but
bitter about what? Oh, you say because the division's bad?
Yeah, it was like so. But I'm just trying to throw it out there.
I mean, Baltimore may bounce back. People ask, well, what do you think about their coach? I think a guy like a Brian DeBall would be somebody. You need a guy in his 40s that can withstand. Everybody talks about the Notre Dame coach and Marcus Freeman. He's going to stay in Notre Dame. I mean, it would be a good fit because I think he'll surround himself with people that knows more than he does. Because I like the way he went out and got Al Golden for Notre Dame. But the thing about Pittsburgh, they're like bowling with a kid. You've got two kids, and you put the guardrails up. They're going to make it where you cannot fail. Because they're not going to fire you. 4 coaches, man, since 1969. They're going to supply you with everything you can possibly want or need to be successful in that organization. You need a defense coordinator. We'll go get a defense coordinator. Okay. Well, you went 3-13. That's fine. We'll get some draft picks. That's how they go. They're not going to fire you.
Right. So who do you think is a tweener? The ages between 40 and about 55 who can sit in there for the next 6-7 years and run
3 years during the rebuild, and maybe by year 3, because you could turn it over quick in the NFL. Maybe by year 2, I don't know, but it's not going to be next year. They got to get the quarterback.
Right.
They got to get rid of that salary cap with T.J. Watt and Cameron Hayward and Jalen Ramsey. You got to get rid of all these guys in their 30s. You know, a DK Metcalf, he's 28. I'd still move off him. And,
I would probably like maybe move him during the draft.
yeah, do anything you can and just rebuild it. It'll be a quick fix, maybe 2 years. Maybe I'll say 3 to be on the safe side. You know, get that quarterback right and flush this thing all the way through. I mentioned a guy. I think the ball's like 48. He's pretty young. Somebody like that, an aggressive offensive guy. I think the ball's very aggressive. Somebody of that nature, and I think he'll go out and get the right type of defensive coordinator, like the former Michigan the Michigan defensive coordinator that used to work with Baltimore. Somebody like that, and do it right. And I think they'll be in a lot better shape. It'll be a breath of fresh air. A lot of people don't want to hear it. DeBall, what? Hey, DeBall.
I'm not big on him, to be honest with you.
Well, he won games with Daniel Jones before he got hurt. You know, he can't. I mean, look what happened to Daniel Jones this year. He did great, and then he got hurt. Look at the Colts. They almost fired their coaches because of that. That lady said, well, I thought about it, but I'm going to go ahead and keep the coach. You know, that kind of crazy lady that runs the Colts now that wants to hear everything. So somebody like him, some people mentioned Kevin Stefanski. I'm not a Stefanski guy, but he's okay. I'm not very impressed with him. Brian Flores, somebody brought him up. That's another defensive guy. I would bring him in for an interview.
What about this guy who coached Kyler Murray in college? What's his name?
Keith Murray. I don't think he's head coaching material. I think he's just offensive coordinator. I would bring in McDaniel before I bring in him. Judging by the way Miami finished, McDaniel, I think his problem was the construction of the roster with the offensive line, and also they played better when Tyreek Hill went on IR. You know, a lot of it is keeping the bad seeds out and being a coach and saying, General Manager X, I got to get rid of this guy. You know, and that's a lot what Tomlin did. They would bring in some knucklehead wide receivers, Chase Claypool, Antonio Brown. They've had a lot of knucklehead.
They wanted to keep Antonio Holmes, but they let him go right where he peaked. So
Antonio Holmes,
that was a money move that actually ended up helping them. And the moving Antonio Holmes. I felt like they should have kept him, but they moved him in the right time because they would have to overpay for him, and they weren't a team that was going to make it. I don't think.
Yeah, they've had some good ones over the years. So I don't know about this new general manager. Although they did okay with players, they just need an offensive-minded head coach, and see what happens. You know,
you think a guy like Shula Shula's be in Pittsburgh?
Who?
Shula.
Shula. Is he defensive or offense?
Isn't he a defensive coordinator with over there with at the Rams?
Yeah, he's really young. Yeah, you know he's also a young son of Don Shula,
right?
And he's got another brother that used to coach
the Giants and everybody else. The Panthers.
He goes somewhere in college. He got fired there too. So that guy's like 39 years old. They could go the super young route. I would go offensive background, even if I had to go with somebody that I wasn't 100%. Because think about it. If you do bring in, say, a Cliff Kingsbury, and they see that the defense is bad, they're gonna say, we're not gonna fire you, but you got to fix this.
Right.
That's how Pittsburgh rolls. You got to fix it. You got to let, and that's what Tomlin did. He would let people go and bring other people in. It's easier to replace a defensive guy than it is an offensive guy.
Yeah.
You know, because offense is such driven the league. That's the problem with Todd Bowles right now. Maybe he gets that job down in Tampa. Todd Bowles may get fired, and then he comes back in 27. Let's do a quick recap. Sorry about that link thing, man.
That's okay.
Going on last night, I was listening to the playback of that game or of the show with Big Tan and Rich, and I love how Big tried to say, "Well, nobody on here picked Indiana." I was like, "No." Myself and Mad New Yorker picked Indiana to win a national championship. But I got that clipped. I'm gonna post it probably in the next day or two. We got some really good one-liners from that show, folks.
Yeah, look, I'm excited because like we're all thinking that it's gonna be over for sure. So,
Yes, everybody picked the overs over 47.5.
Yeah,
everybody but Rich picked Miami to win.
Yeah,
and I mean, me and you picked Indiana before the playoff, and why wouldn't you go against them now? I mean, they're rolling. They're going to win this national championship. So what's your thoughts? We'll start back last week. Carolina showed a lot of fight in that game. Those receivers against those defense, that's the biggest bugaboo I've got with the Rams is those corners. They definitely need help at cornerback. The Rams come back, they win it. Stafford got a little banged up, but it's all good. What's your thoughts about that game, man?
Yo, I thought I was going to be upset. I was close. That was football.
He started texting me when it got close.
I was like, let's go. Like, and then again, that's what happens too. I sometimes talk about a team that's green and that's young, that they don't think about they don't think about the past. They just keep plowing forward. Yeah. And I think in this game, the one time they needed their coach to pick them up, he didn't come through. The quarterback made a running touchdown, and he got a whole team was like, the defense got excited. Bryce Young was excited. The offense got excited. And just everybody just started going and started plowing forward, and then all of a sudden, things happen here and there. The defense got to Stafford. Everybody was getting, and the one time that they needed coaching to come in, maybe try to spark them, do something. It didn't happen, because the problem was that you saw that the defense started getting tired. You saw that the offense was getting tired. They didn't know how much or what they could do. What they weren't. What's that word? They weren't affirmative. They weren't
mentally adept.
Yeah, you saw that they were young. You saw the deer in the headlights looks, and you can't have that
situation. Yeah,
but it was great. It was a great game as a somebody who watches football.
It was a very good game. It was not.
I feel like it was one of the best in this playoff. So
it was very good. Yeah, it was a 10.5 point spread.
Yeah,
I bet it. I bet it at. I took Kobe Parkinson and the Rams -2.5. They won by 3, just barely. This next game, this one really ticked me off, man. I'm not even a Packers fan. I have never been more, and that's another guy. There's 9 openings. There should be 10 in the NFL, which would make it a third of the league, pretty much. Would be at freaking Matt LaFleur blowing an 18-point lead at the Bears. Man, that just blow. You have rested players. He's not confrontational enough. He should have went in there and said, okay, Jacobs is still hurt. That knee is still bothering. He's had 2 weeks off. He got 57 yards rushing. Take him out. Put that other, what's his name, Wilson or whatever, that other running back. Let's stop throwing the ball deep down the field, shorten the game, and shorten some of our routes here. And that's where he's got to step in and make that move. He's got to stop. He's got to pull Jordan Love to the side and say, hey, stop going for this on third down, man. They're hip to that. And hey, kudos to the Bears, although they took some blows there. They got some guys injured in that game, but they did get the win. A great win, great comeback. I'm sure the Bear people are really excited about it. What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. I've always said that I don't have no love for Love, man. I just think he's very inconsistent. I feel like he had everything he needed to just keep moving forward. And why not use your tight ends? That defense is coming. Those tight ends was rolling off, and all you got to do is pitch it to him.
Musgrave is not that bad. Yeah, he's not as good as the other one, but he's not that bad.
Right, and they just fell short. And I've talked about Matt LaFleur. I think he's very passive.
Passive, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if. I don't think he's a bad coach. I just don't think he's like one of those motivational coaches. He's not fierce, and you don't always have to be everything, but you can't just sit there and be and say nothing. So I liked that he got a little spunk, though. There was a couple plays that he got into the face of the defense and in the face of some of the coordinators. It's like, yeah, what's going? Let's pick this up.
Did you see the handshake thing with Ben Johnson, the coach there? He kind of did like that because I guess it was a quick, cold handshake from LaFleur when Green Bay beat them in Green Bay.
I mean, listen, they have to have. Then he's
saying F the Packers in the locker room, and I guess they got on film.
Listen, I mean, it's Chicago, and one thing I like about Ben Johnson is that he is loud. He has a little bit of fierce in him. He has a little competitive nature, and he's showing that to his players. So the players are rubbing off on that. So you gotta kick them when they're down, man. This is football. This ain't basketball. This ain't the NBA, man. You just winning is no. You gotta win, and you gotta win, and you gotta get your job done. You gotta do it gritty. So it was good because you know why? That's Chicago. Chicago's gritty. Everybody,
taking on the personality of
the blue collar town, and you gotta do it up. So I like it for them. It was good. It was a good game. That was another good game, and
it was a good game. It was a good comeback there. A little frustrating, but if you had Green Bay, it's a really good game. If you had Chicago, now this next game, I thought I said it was going to be. Go ahead.
So I picked Chicago and the Panthers, and I only got the Chicago win on that one.
Yeah, Saturday was good though. Saturday was good. Sunday, I thought coming into the last weekend, 1 week ago today, I said I think that Buffalo-Jacksonville game will be the best game. And if you watch that game, and if you listen to the commentary, I think it was Tony Romo and Jim Nantz there, which they're up there, my favorites, them and Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. They were saying you could feel the intensity of this game. I mean, the hits, the underneath play. Josh Allen got banged up a few times, and I'm watching. I'm thinking, man, I don't know, man. I think maybe Jacksonville wins this game. It was a back and forth game. I said I thought it'd be about 27-23. It was 27-24. It was a great win. My criticism of Jacksonville, they didn't use enough underneath stuff. They should have stuck with their run game. But kudos to Buffalo, man. The pass defense played well. They got 2 key turnovers in that game. They got some pressure, even though I know that Trevor Lawrence didn't have his left tackle. They still, I think he played well, all things considered. And Buffalo really done well with those open field tackles. They did not blink. It was a big 4th down stop there for Buffalo. When they got the turnover, how much of that game you saw, but there was a turnover, and Jacksonville was about to go into the end zone to go up by 2 scores. They went for it on 4th down, and I forgot who it was that made the tackle against Trevor Lawrence, and they missed the 4th and 2 by an inch. Yeah. And Buffalo got the ball back. Right. I feel like that started really turning momentum. What's your thoughts about that game? Very good game. Game of the week, I thought. Yeah, and you know what? I don't fault Trevor Lawrence for that, but I feel like he could have had 5 or 6, 5 to 10 yard runs in that game, and he stayed in the pocket. That's true.
He made a few good throws here and there, but I feel like, there was a few times, and that 3rd down situation for them has haunted them all season. It haunted them in this game. They couldn't get away from that coming to that 3rd down. And again, that is a good job. Finally, the coaching came through for Buffalo to make sure that when they're 3rd down, it was more than 5+, because Trevor Lawrence will wreck your world, right? And so it was 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, and it just kept. It was never 3rd and 2. It was never 3rd and 5, and that was. And again, Buffalo doesn't have a great defense, but they did good enough.
The pass defense is very good, but
it was good. It was a good game, and also this Allen he's ridiculous. But I mean, how you gonna? I would like to see that kind of mentality, that kind of like fortitude from some of these guys in the NFL who are quarterbacks, man. The guy he played, though, you could tell was a chess match. You could tell it was a chess match, and I liked it.
That felt like an AFC championship. That did not feel like a wild card game.
No,
That's
it
why I
felt,
think that the winner of that game, I said it before, we'll
Oh,
go
yeah,
to the
you
Super Bowl. Let's see how that plays out. But you could just feel that was such a good game. And I think the people in the TV world like, man, we should have primed this game out. Although the next game, I told you all this too. If Trent Williams actually plays and plays the whole game, I probably would have taken San Francisco. But I didn't know how that hamstring was going to hold up. Well, it holds up. They go up to Philadelphia, beat Philadelphia. Now Philadelphia's fired this offensive coordinator, Patello, whatever his name is. And you could see A.J. Brown pouting on the sideline. It was a great win, though, for the 49ers, man. Very clutch win, road win, short week. Eagles had the extra rest. I mean, everything going against them. What's your thoughts about that game?
They didn't stick with the running game. Even this Jalen Hurts didn't run the ball as much. I think maybe last year we talked about it. If Barkley gets his 60, 70 yards and Hurts gets 20 yards, they win the game. Remember, because they was running so much, and they didn't do that. They threw the ball. They didn't catch the ball. Brown missed a few.
He missed a really good one, man.
He missed a really good one, opportune time. Then he didn't get thrown to again. Hurts was so mad about that.
Yes.
Then he throw to him into the second half.
Do you keep AJ Brown? I put that he got in a really heated argument with the coach there, AJ, and it got on TV. Tom Brady said, "Hey, listen, that happens." He poo-pooed it. He got into it with his offensive coordinator. One guy online said something to me. How come you didn't say nothing about Travis Kelce? And I said, well, nice try. Kelce don't complain when you're winning, not like Brown has.
Right.
And Kelce, it's usually when you're losing in big games. It's not like Brown complains if he don't get his. He's like Stephon Diggs a little bit, You know who I would talk about maybe keeping him, or would you move off of AJ Brown? I'm moving off AJ Brown.
If I'm the Chargers, I give Herbert that tool right there.
The Chargers, with the money they have, or what I'm reading, that would be a good. He needs a change of scenery. That would be huge.
I would like to see, because you know what? I want to see the potential that he has, that he talks about, that he could do. We've seen it in Tennessee. He made a bad quarterback look like a pro quarterback.
He looked really good.
And so
great,
so I feel like if you give a quarterback who could rip it like Herbert, I feel like, because the other guy in the Chargers, I told you, he's past his prime. He's old, and he don't have speed.
Keenan Allen's on his
Keenan
last.
Allen. So I would.
Johnson's not consistent. And
Quentin Johnson's. He's a big. Think about that. You have a big body wide receiver in Quentin Johnson, and you have AJ Brown running all over the place.
He'd be a great fit there.
Yeah.
At least for 2 years.
Yeah, just a couple seasons.
Right. So you're with me. You would move off of him too.
Yeah, I'll move. The thing is that you have to also see what Jalen Hurts, how he can make other guys better too. I feel like they didn't use the tight ends enough this past game. They didn't run the ball. I feel like they were just going by, making decisions in the moment instead of like having a plan and then adjusting. I don't feel like there was any adjustment. I just feel like they played the same way the whole time, and it didn't feel like.
That's why they fired a coordinator.
Yeah, to be honest with you, and
I told you about 6 weeks ago. I said, "Listen, this feels like the Eagles 2 years ago when they had another bad offensive coordinator."
I was about to say that, and I'm like, and I'm not an Eagles fan,
I couldn't be happy. No offense, Jamie. I love Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie was like,
they'll bounce back. They got a lot of talent, man.
They had too much talent, and it didn't get them where they needed to go. And it is at this time, it wasn't the quarterback's fault. This time, it wasn't the running back's fault. This time, it wasn't the wide receiver's fault, although they should have stepped up a little bit more, or the tight ends. This time, it's coaching.
It felt like it was scheming, coaching. It wasn't the defense. Defense did everything they could do in that game. The flip side, hey, man, you got to give how valuable is one player, man? Trent Williams. How valuable is this man? And he's full practice today. The Sunday night game was kind of boring. The Patriots, and you mentioned that with the Chargers. Defensive struggle, healthier offensive line. We both called that game. I thought it'd be a little bit more scoring than that. Chargers just got to get healthy. The Patriots, they seem to elevate their game in big game situations. I I just like and a lot of people are not talking about this as well, is the Josh McDaniels chemistry with who is that? Drake May. Yeah. I mean, it's being overlooked. Drake May was decent last year. This is daylight and dark, man. The Titans beat them last year. You see what I'm saying? I mean, he looks like it's an all-world guy compared to the guy who played last year. And a lot of that you got to give to Josh McDaniels, what he is being able to draw up there.
I think also that Josh McDaniels knows that even though this kid has all the tools and has all the abilities, the tight end is making catches.
Hunter
The
Henry,
running back is running. Everybody's.
Yeah.
This feels like a Belichick team because everybody's doing their job. Now, I keep saying I don't think they're gonna make it far. I keep saying because they're too green. I feel like they, maybe need one more year.
Very young. They're very young.
This coaching duo that they have, and the ability, and they're using the quarterback's abilities. And they're letting the running back run. They keep feeding this guy. I'm like, why do they keep giving him the ball? But you know why? Because
they got two of them. They got Trayvon Henderson and Steve.
Because the running backs are asking for the ball and they're making runs. It's like old school football. You get the Roger Craig. You get the 2 yards. You get the 5 yards. All of a sudden,
they do kind of remind me of the early years when Belichick and Brady took over, where they had this really good defense. Laura Malloy. And a lot of short passes to running backs and stuff. And Brady was just learning the ropes. We're talking 2001, 2002 Patriots. But, hey, that team won. I mean, they won the Super Bowl.
The only thing now that's going to hurt them is Gonzalez being out. You had the
Gonzalez is back. He had a concussion in that game, and I thought he was not going to play, but it looks like he's going to be okay. Do you want to comment on that other game? I mean, Houston – that was a tight game. The defense took over. Houston's defense is playing at just an awesome level. Stroud turned the ball over a few times. Other than that, it's all about that defense making big plays. It looked like a throwback game. They kind of remind you of the Ravens a little bit back in the day when they were really good, or like the Bucks back in 2002 that won the Super Bowl. That being said, another concern of mine in that particular game with Houston is Nico Collins. He got a concussion, and he's not going to get out. He played on Monday night. He's not going to be ready in time to play this Sunday. It looks like he's not going to play. Any thoughts about real quick on that Pittsburgh game?
Yeah, look, even though the Texas team won, they can't play like this and win.
I know. They had 5 fumbles, but they got 3 back.
Stroud, he needs to clean that. They need to clean that up. That's a quarterback thing.
Yeah.
2 of them at least was a quarterback thing. They kept pressing instead of letting the game flow on the offensive side. And kudos to the defense of Watt and the Pittsburgh to force them and make them try to make adjustments on and it was you could tell offense was scatterbrained, but then you took the defense, and the defense was on point.
Yeah, it was 7-6 for a while.
Right,
but
the defense was like
10-6, and it was still a game. But hey, it all will. I think it's a huge blessing in disguise that John Harbaugh is with the Giants, and Mike Tomlin has stepped away. You could just tell they're just burned out, and the team looks burned out. T.J. Watt was very frustrated. I would trade him to a contender. He would be a good fit with the Chargers. So we got to get to tonight or this weekend, excuse me. I kind of wish they were tonight, but then again, not.
I know, right?
But I'm up 4, and I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be taking some chances. You might catch me, man. You might catch me this weekend because I'm going to do something a little different here. Buffalo, again, with the early games probably being the best game. I'm okay with that. Saturday, 3:30 East or Central, 4:30 Eastern. Buffalo will play at Denver. Denver is the favorite. Then it was Buffalo. The fans of whatever the money's went in on Denver. Denver's at home, 1.5 point favorite. They're at home. They're off the bye week. Buffalo is vulnerable to underneath passing and running plays. That's a big deal for the Bills. That's exactly what I know Sean Payton's going to do, and they better be ready for that, or they will get beat. But anyways, their defenses, they're both about the same. Nothing is daunting. Buffalo has some injuries, but their key players are going to play. I mean, Allen's fine and everything. They may even get Oliver back, but I don't know that for sure. But guys like Milano and stuff, he's been limited practice. Bosa, those guys, that's all I'm really concerned about here. Buffalo did play these guys last year, and it's the team is pretty much the same. I think they've added a few pieces on defense. Denver has. They're a lot better. But that was a 31-7 game. Bo Nix has gotten a lot better. The defense has gotten a lot better. It's not going to be a 31-7 game. The over-under start 45, but I was still going to take Buffalo 24-17 to get the road win and upset the 1 seed. What's your thoughts about that game? First game Saturday.
Listen, Denver Bronco fans are going to go wild. They're the only ones that can breathe and drink.
Saturday. Yeah.
They're the only ones that can breathe and drink in that stadium anyways. This is not going to be easy for the Bills at all. And I just don't feel like – I feel like this is it for Allen, you know. He might run in 2 touchdowns and they still going to lose. That's how good this defense is. Yeah. So I got the Broncos winning this one 32-24.
That'd be an interesting game. And listen, that could happen. They've got a second punch to them. They come back late in games. But if that does happen, do not be texting me telling me I told you so.
No, man.
I don't next Thursday on the program, dude.
I don't. It's not. I don't
like
text
you most.
No. I don't text you because I said I told you so. I text you because I'm like, yo, you know, like I'm hoping.
You don't do it when I'm winning. It's okay, no.
You know what happened was that I was Pokemon training my son. That's the only reason I didn't call you on Sunday.
Training the son Pokemon. Oh, that's cool, man. I hope.
Yeah, but you know, and I felt, man, I was like, man, I looked at my phone. I was like, why Robert not saying nothing to me?
It's annoying, especially after that Chicago game. Robert gets hot under the collar. I have to have a few days to cool down if I lose. San Francisco, Seattle. This one seemed like a no-brainer a week ago. Seattle's a 7-point favorite. This will be played Saturday night, of course. Go figure. But I don't know if you heard this today. This broke this afternoon. Sam Darnold's got an oblique injury. They just said injury. Yeah, I guess that's a stomach injury, but he's saying he's going to be okay. But my thing is, why are you saying this now? I got a feeling that he's been hurt for about 2 weeks now. He's been hurt the last 2 games. He's got 1 touchdown in the last 2 games. Now, they won these 2 games. Remember, the last time they played, the San Francisco did not have Trent Williams. And the time of possession, I looked this up, was like 34. I want to say it was like 34 to 37. It was like 37 to 22 or something like that in favor of Seattle. And they scored 13 points and won 13-3. Don't get me wrong. But now you have Trent Williams back, and you have this oblique issue there with Sam Darnold, and possibly Ricky Pearsall could be back. He's been limited practicing. Well, he says he's going to play. That's another target. Now, George Kittle, unfortunately, did tear his Achilles last week, but there's a guy named, I think his name is Denard Robertson. Not Denard, but it's Robertson, another receiver, has emerged. He had a big game in that Philadelphia game with Pearsall, with Jennings. I'm calling for another upset, man. Salif is going to have that defense playing right. I could be way off here because the fatigue factor or the short week with San Francisco and the bye week, but there's too much familiarity. This is the 3rd game between these 2 games. In baseball, I guess they call this the rubber game, the rubber match here. 24-20. San Francisco gets the win and goes on to play in the NFC championship game. What's your thoughts about Frisco playing at Seattle round 3?
It's always difficult to play in Seattle. Always. No matter who the opponent is.
Yeah.
They called the 11th team for
The 12th man.
team for a reason. And that aside, that's like fan stuff. If you get in the running game, if he's going over 60 to 80 yards, money. San Fran has difficulty stopping the run. If this guy throws 200 yards and they got, he throwing to his tight ends, they're going to be money. What on the flip side, McCarthy going to have to carry the team.
Who's McCarthy?
I mean, McCaffrey's going to have to.
The running back. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have to carry the team on this side. He's going to have to put it all in because, Purdy's he's going to be on his back more than he's going to be on his feet.
Okay.
So I don't know, man. I don't know if he can, and I know he will try, but I think this game is going to be 28-24, and I think the Seahawks win this one.
Seahawks. Okay. There you go. See, we've already got two different picks there. And could very well go that way. So if you win both of them, just send me a bunch of texts. I'll save them and I'll read them next Thursday.
I don't need you for a show. I'll just read your text.
Yeah. No. Well, I'll say what you mean by this text. Okay. This next game was actually the hardest one for me to pick. That other one was easier once I found out that Darnold had that oblique injury there. Okay. Texans, Houston at New England. These are the two most evenly matched teams. Very close in defense there. Very close in coaching, quarterback play, you name it. This is just really, really thin margins here. Just a 3-point favorite there for New England because it's playing in Foxborough there. You look at the fact that it's over and under is about 40.5. I mentioned earlier, Nico Collins likely. Everything I'm reading from the concussion, he's not going to play. Although I know that Stroud can hit other players, he can win without the lead receiver. We've seen him do it before. Gonzalez will play. If Gonzalez wasn't going to play, I would probably still go with Houston, even without Collins. Gonzalez is going to play. This is in Foxborough. I think I know is what I'm going to pick here. 2017. This will be an airtight game, not a big score game. The Patriots win at home. Don't have a lot of confidence in it because I like that Houston defense. But like I said, the margins are very thin here on both teams. Got a lot of faith in both of them. By the way, Houston's on a 10-game winning streak. And the Patriots, I want to say they've won 14 out of their last 15 games. These are pretty hot teams. What's your thoughts about that game?
These are the lonely AFC teams that nobody talked about in the beginning of the season.
No.
So they're going to play big. They're going to play big. And I feel like, I think it's going to come to fruition that now, unfortunately, Texas is a little bit faster on defense. May's going to see a lot of green, but he ain't going to be able to take advantage of it because these defenders are speedy, and I feel like that's going to make it a little bit harder for the Patriots. And I feel like this game is going to be 27-24. My favorite number.
Houston,
Texas. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. See, that's 3 games we disagree on. Okay. The Rams at Chicago. This is the last game Sunday night. Rams 3.5-point favorites. Listen, this would be a wild shootout. Could be a wild shootout. But I also read the Bears talk about this earlier when we were talking about the Green Bay game. They lost their left tackle, this Ozzie Trapolo is his name. And they also lost their lead linebacker, this TJ Edwards. That's not good at all for the Bears here. Meanwhile, the Rams, a lot of people talk about Matt Stafford's record in bad weather and all that. I was thinking, well, the guy played for Detroit. He went up to Philadelphia. They almost beat Philadelphia last year. You look at the run defense or lack thereof of the Bears. You look at their pass defense against guys like Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, who used to play for Green Bay, for crying out loud. I like that matchup straight up. I just don't – if I'm a Bears fan, I do not like Jared Verse or Byron Young, former Tennessee player who's got 10 sacks going against a backup left tackle there. I think this is 31-20 Rams. Rams going to the NFC Championship game. So I'm going with 3 road teams and 1 home team. What's your thoughts on Rams at the Bears?
Man, listen, these Bears are ready. They're pretty fast. I like them against the Rams. The Rams are, a little bit older.
Yeah.
And but I'm not sure if they can get going, man. They look like they was hurting a little bit last game. I don't know. I like the energy that the Bears team went. They're gonna be in Chicago, man. It's gonna be a party
in Chicago.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the home team, and I think the Bears are gonna win 32-24.
Well, if you win all them, we'll be tied. That deal erased my 4-game lead. Anything else to plug there? Your son. So when are you supposed to fly out to Toronto, man?
Tomorrow afternoon at 5. So I'm hoping I'm getting there. It's gonna be snowing the whole week now. Yeah. They said it might snow, and now it's last week. And
this is Toronto. It's gonna snow.
Yeah, it says it's gonna snow tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see if we make it. The tournament starts on Saturday, so if we can make it before Saturday morning, the tournament starts, we'll be all right. If we make it there and the tournament already started, we're gonna be okay. My son and I, we do up the town, and we have fun. Like so, I'm proud of him no matter what he does, and we have fun. That's how. You know how I am. You know how we
hanging out in Toronto. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, walk around and sightsee.
Yeah, and the snow. So we'll have fun.
Yeah, and I'm sure they know how to drive in it up there, and I'm sure they get rid of it real quick in Toronto.
Yeah, they got an underneath like subway system too. Like they got trains that run under.
It's real busy like New York.
No, I mean kind of like New York, but they do it because it gets icy and snowy on the top.
Oh, so you're not going to be Uber nowhere?
I'm gonna be skiing, bro. Not just kidding.
All right, be careful out there, Chief. But you already know how it is, man.
Yeah, man.
Mad New York.
Time to catch up.
Appreciate you. See you next week, man. Don't be texting me boasting when we win, possibly. But I don't think you are going to lose them all.
It might happen.
Yeah, appreciate you. See you, buddy. All right, everybody. I'll be back next week again. Ralph Williams, I'll be back on next Wednesday. But also, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to record something probably Sunday night or Monday. We'll give you one of those quick takes I've been doing the last few weeks. We'll talk about that as well. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy the game.